Hi, good afternoon. I'm Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, we've got a lot of, I know we're getting towards the end of 2024, but once again, there's so many exciting things going on in the cruise industry. Yes, because Good Ship Happens, but also we've got new ships coming out next year. Also, some new ones that just came out this year, too, which is great. And I think it's just so much fun to share these wonderful things, too, because one thing is, just the expansion of the cruise industry is going so phenomenally well too. It's really, really great with new ships coming out and new itineraries. Also, the expansion of where cruise ships depart from, of course, because originally going back several years ago, the cruise industry first started sailing out of Port Miami. Okay, that was kind of like the cruise capital, which it still is, but that's where cruising really started years and years ago. And then we saw ships starting to depart from Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades, and then, of course, in the 1990s, one that really came up big was actually sailing out of Port Canaveral, which is about an hour away from Orlando. But we see a big surge as far as the growth in different areas too. Galveston, Texas is another one that's been growing like crazy, which is great. And also, we've got a lot of ships now sailing out of Port Canaveral, okay? And it's, like I said, about an hour away from Orlando. Also, New York, which is great. You can take Alaskan cruises from Seattle as well as Vancouver. But just exciting things too, and also what we're seeing too is with the river cruise industry that's growing like crazy in a very, very good way. But also, one I mentioned that just came up too is with the AMA Waterways in March of 2025 next year. That's like what, 3, 4 months away. They're actually be launching their first small river cruise line ship on the Magdalena River, which is in South America. And then they've got their second ship that's going to be doing that itinerary too, I think in June of next year. But just, it's wonderful to see different options because with river cruising industry too, it's growing. It's a great way to really see different parts of the world because these are smaller ships and they sail on the rivers, which is great, with great places to visit that normally a bigger cruise ship cannot visit, okay? Because once again, on the Magdalena River, no big ships don't sail there, but it's great because it fits a really wonderful need too. So just keep it in mind too. Something else that came up too is I know that it's one that's maybe not well known, but the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, which is relatively new to the cruise industry, they actually debuted their second ship, okay? It's their 448 guest, I think it's pronounced Ima, and it's this double the size of their first guest ship, the Arima, and that handles 298 guests. But the Ima was just christened, named recently for an article about that too, which is really really fun too. And she was just named in Fort Lauderdale, okay? And it's their newest super yacht, okay, Ritz Carlton. And we think of Ritz Carlton as a hotel company, but this is actually Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection, okay, which is great too. So, yes. But once again, they just did their celebrated the christening of their new luxury super yacht, the Ilma, on December 11th. So that was what, 2 days ago, in Fort Lauderdale. And honoring the maritime traditions, of course, the ceremony featured ceremonial blessing, and then of course the iconic breaking of the champagne bottle, and that also kind of celebrates and symbolizes good future and safe travels to guests and employees on board the ship, which is great. And what they did was they actually had they actually celebrated a group of female leaders from the Ritz Carlton Yacht, both shipboard and riverside, shoreside, who actually collectively fulfilled the role of the line's godmothers too, which is great. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? Because once again, the godparent, it can be a godmother or a godfather, okay? But in this case, cruise lines select different people. But in this case, with Ritz Carlton Yacht, with the Ilma, they actually decided to actually have their shipboard and shoreside women, female leaders, actually christen the ship itself too, which is great. And once again, They just, like I said, they did that on December 11th earlier this week too. And right now, during their first ship, Everima, the Ritz-Carlton Yacht's inaugural yacht, the Emma made its debut in the Mediterranean in September 2024, where she sailed from Monte Carlo over to Rome. And then, once again, she offers seamless travel, which is great too, and they connect the guests to sea and destinations in really beautiful ways too. So once again, they've got world-class dining venues, which is great. Of course, who doesn't like to dine? Yes. Also, they feature, I know they've got suites, spacious suites, and once again, they've got a high-level guest to crew ratio, employee ratio too. And right now, she offers, now in from the 2024 to 25 winter season, the Emma is going to join Everima in the Caribbean, offering scenic voyages to their most captivating islands too. And then once again, the summer 2025, the Emma is going to actually explore Northern Europe, okay, with different itineraries in the North and Baltic Seas. Also calling on really beautiful places in Copenhagen and Bordeaux. Once again, just think about that too. If you've never heard of them, it's Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, and they just christened this week their newest super yacht, the Emma. Okay, she was named in Fort Lauderdale, which is great too. So that's really exciting to think about, a really early Christmas present, another new ship that just came out, and if it's not we're about too, it's great to think about that too. Something else too is, of course, we've got other ships that have been just starting to sail. One, of course, is the Disney Treasure. It's one of the last new ships this year, and the Disney Treasure is their second ship within their Triton class, okay? And their sister ship, the Disney Wish, featured the first enchantment, and of course the Disney Treasure, which is now sailing. It sounds fantastic. Oh my gosh. She leans forward adventure with the Disney Treasure. She's now sailing, of course, but she showcases stories from the films of course, The Lion King, Aladdin, Coco, Zootopia, and also 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Also, as far as her size, she's 144,000 gross registered tons, and she includes a Marvel dining experience, also the Marvel Superhero Academy, and a Star Wars cargo bay. And she's going to be sailing right now on 7-night Caribbean cruises from Port Canaveral, which is great. Another one that just is coming out this month, I think came out already too, is the Viking Vela, and just made her debut in December, and that is the new ship just came out. Another one that just actually relocated after being christened in Italy is the Explorer 2. This is Explorer Journeys. This is their second ship. It's luxury, of course, and she was actually christened in September in Civitavecchia, Italy, and they sailed in the Mediterranean first, and they brought the ship over to the United States, and she just started sailing, of course, out of I think she's sailing out Port Miami, but she's sailing in the Caribbean on different voyages, and this, of course, is sailing right now, and then she's going to complete her Caribbean season in, I think, by March. Then she will actually relocate to Europe. And, of course, in Explorer Journeys, they've got two ships now, and their whole mindset is luxury cruising, of course, bringing the ocean life to sea, which is great. And they've got their Explorer 3 debuting, I think, in next year, which is great. But definitely take a look at that too, because once again, they really bring the ocean life to sea. I just wrote about it, which sounds great. And as mentioned, it's Explorer Journey's newest ship, and she just arrived into Florida. And she's officially christened, of course, on September 16th over in Civitavecchia, Italy. She did cruises over there, and then she actually relocated to the U.S. and arrived, of course. Now she's sailing on Caribbean cruises, which is great. And as mentioned, she'll be sailing on Caribbean cruises through March of 2025, then relocating back to Europe, which is great. But she's got, of course, different dining options too. Some fun ones that I wrote about too, included it in my recent article about her, is they've got one, it's called Marble and Company Grill. Okay, now what is Marble and Company Grill? I looked it up, wrote about it, of course, too, in my article. It's a European steakhouse experience, and it's been inspired by the marbling found only in the finest beefs. I didn't realize that about. I learned something about cooking too. So once again, it's a European steakhouse on board their new ship, and it just is inspired by the marbling found only in the finest beef. Okay, which is great to know too. Also, they've got Asian cuisine. Sakura is one. They've got the Chef's Kitchen. This is an experience in a seafront private kitchen setting. There's extra fee that is involved to dine there, but they've got in-suite dining, which is great too. They've got the Med Yacht Club, which provides relaxation flavors. They've got their Emporium Marketplace, which is all-day dining, inspired cuisine, and I think flavors across the globe with 18 separate cooking stations. 18 different cooking stations. So you've got different choices when you're dining in the Emporium Marketplace, which is great. All-day dining. And as far as some of the areas they've got too, is they've got, let's see here. Oh, they've got different lounges and places for entertainment. They've got their, it's called the Crema Cafe. It's actually a European-style cafe which features pastries, cakes, desserts. They've got their Explorer Lounge, and it's a really beautiful lounge. It provides a spectacular 270-degree view, and they have different types of entertainment there too. If you like creperie, they've got their gelateria and creperie, and it provides authentic French and Italian fare. Also, Lobby Bar is located in their main area too. They've got their Sky Bar located on deck 14. It's a really beautiful outdoor area lounge, offering soothing cocktails and beautiful views. They've got their Journeys Lounge, which provides entertainment throughout the day too. They've got their malt whiskey bar too. And as mentioned, right now she's sailing on different itineraries in the Caribbean. She's got a journey to the St. Shores and volcanic islands, and this is going on right now, December 11th through the 20th. And the Explorer 2 is sailing right now, St. Vincent and St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Virgin Gorda. They've got a journey for the New Year's, of course, too, coming up on December 27th, which is coming up in about a week and a half, to January 5th. Guests can celebrate the New Year with a sailing from Charlotte Malia, which is in the Virgin Islands, and it will go to different places, Antigua, also St. Kitts, and guests can actually begin the 2025 New Year with Seychelles, which is great. They've also got their journeys to the Forgotten Worlds of the Riviera Maya, and this is taking place from February 4th through the 14th, 2025. And the Explorer 2 is going to actually visit Florida Keys and also Cayman Brac. Also, guests can really then enjoy the areas of Cozumel and also Costa Maya and also the towns of Merida. As mentioned about Explorer Journeys, it's owned by the MSC Group. It's their luxury brand. Started 2 years ago with their Explorer 1, which debuted last year, and they've got new ships coming out. And once again, it kind of features the ocean state of mind. So keep that in mind too, if you're thinking about maybe luxury, but also different places to go, because once again, Explorer 2 will be sailing in the Caribbean right now through March. They're repositioning back to Europe for different things too. So keep that in mind. It sounds really fantastic, doesn't it? And something else that comes up too, as far as new ships, of course, Explorer 2 just debuted, of course. Another one, of course, was the we had the Icon of Seas, which debuted back in January. That was Royal Caribbean's biggest ship ever built. This one's got the Chief Dog Officer, Rover, and she's there to create fun and happiness for people, which is great. But also, coming up in 2025, Royal Caribbean's next ship, which is a sister ship to Icon Seas, is called Star of the Seas. I think I mentioned this before, but it's really exciting because Star of the Seas is going to also have a chief dog officer, and her name is going to be called Sailor. What a great name, right? I love that name, Sailor, right? And of course, what's good too is with her pause, she won't be driving the ship with the captain on the bridge, but she'll be there in the bridge periodically, but also will be visiting different guests on board the ship too. And I'll share more with that later on too. But it's really kind of fun to think about new ships coming out too. And let's see what else. Yeah, that's good as far as the cruising new kids on the block, or on the dock actually. But more coming up too, which is really exciting too. And something else that just was mentioned too is, I think I mentioned it last week, but what's really fun too is Carnival Cruise Line. What they're doing is they're celebrating America's 250th birthday, okay? Didn't realize that with the United States, we got a birthday coming up for 250 years, of course. I mean, never thought about that, but what they're doing is they've got different things they're doing with special sailings, okay? And what they do is they just made some announcements. They're really exciting. So once again, think about this if you're thinking about doing something special to celebrate the United States of America, their 250th birthday, okay? Birthdays are important, aren't they? You can enjoy things with birthday cake and presents, but a good way to do something as far as your birthday is definitely celebrate it on a cruise ship, okay? Definitely. And this is really kind of fun because once again, Carnival just announced this, and they're going to have in 2026, which is America's 250th birthday. Yes, but a year away. But what they're doing is they're offering different unique sailings, which is great too. And I know that, like I said, on July 4th, which is going to be America's 250th birthday, they've got seven ships sailing actually, on the East Coast, home ports, and meet up near Celebration Key, which is their private out island. And it's going to be a great celebration of sea, and these ships will also unite off the west coast near Ensenada. And then during these special meetups, the ship will host a patriotic birthday themed deck parties, which is great. And they'll also feature patriotic entertainment and special food and drinks and offerings too. One they've got listed was, they've got a meetup number one. Location is going to be in the Bahamas. It's going to be taking place at sea outside Celebration Key. This is their new private outline. They're building it right now, which is great. Also, the ships that are going to be meeting there are going to be the Carnival Celebration. Yes, time to celebrate, right? I got a chance to see that ship. It was amazing. It was just amazing. I was at the christening. It was amazing. But I've got the Carnival Conquest, the Carnival Elation, Carnival Glory, the Carnival Sunrise, Carnival Venezia, and the Carnival Vista. That's going to be one location. Another second meetup location will be in Baja, Mexico, and this will be outside Ensenada. They've got ships that will be meeting there. Will be the Carnival Frenzy, the Carnival Luminosa, and the Carnival Radiance too. And as far as special sailings from coast to coast, they mentioned they've got, like I said, 3-day sailings from Miami, Port Canaveral, and also Jacksonville. These will depart on January 3rd, the day before July 3rd, 2026, the day before the United States of America's birthday, 250th birthday. And once again, they're offering these 3-night coast-to-coast sailings on a Carnival Conquest and Carnival Glory. They're going to depart on July 3rd of 2026, offering 3-day escapes to Celebration Key at Grand Bahama from Miami and also Port Canaveral, which is great. They've got 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruises, which I love too. And they've got, these will be departing from Miami on June 26th, okay, of 2026. June 28th, 2026. And for people that are looking for a bit longer sailing from Miami, they can sail on a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise aboard the Carnival Celebration from Miami, departing on July 28th, 2026. That's going to visit Celebration Key, Nassau, Amber Cove, and Grand Turk. Another option would be the 8-day Eastern Caribbean from New York City. That'll be departing on July 1st of 2026 For people in the northeastern area, the Carnival of Venezia will depart New York City on July 1st, 2026 for an 8-day cruise. Visit Celebration Key, Nassau, Half Moon Cay. Also, people on the West Coast have some options too to celebrate America's 250th birthday on a cruise ship on Carnival Cruise Line. They've got, from the West Coast, they've got 3 cruise options departing from California, which is great. These 3 ships, the Carnival Firenze, the Carnival Luminosia, and the Carnival Radiance, will also unite at sea on July 4th, 26, and they've got a 3-day Baja Mexico from Long Beach, California. This will depart on July 3rd of 2026. The Carnival Firenze will be sailing on a 3-day Baja Mexico cruise from Long Beach over the July 4th weekend too. Another one is going to be the 4-day Baja Mexico cruise from San Francisco. This is going to depart on July 2nd, 2026, and the Carnival Luminosia will be sailing on a 4-day option departing on July 2nd, 2026 from San Francisco, including stops in Ensenada, which is great. Also, another one, I know I'm going on and on, but these are really great experiences to think about as far as ways to celebrate America's birthday, 250th birthday in 2026. Great ways to celebrate on board a cruise ship. They'll do special entertainment, different things too. And once again, they've got this, another one is 5-day Mexican Riviera from Long Beach, California. It's got choices. You can sail from San Francisco, from Long Beach, California, which is great on the West Coast. Plus, of course, we've got out of course, New York and also, of course, Florida. But this 5-day Mexican Riviera from Long Beach will depart on June 30th, 2026. And the Carnival Radiance will be sailing on a 5-day Mexican Riviera cruise from Long Beach, California, visiting Cabo San Lucas and Ensenada. As far as entertainment on these special sailings, I think this is great too. It's really like a stars, stripes, and celebrations at sea. And you can choose one of these things, but activities and entertainment on board, they don't just happen on a cruise, okay? These are going to be really, really ways to really, really celebrate the birthday of the United States of America. They'll have themed dance classes. They're going to have an exclusive America's Birthday deck party. Have fun, right? And the music's going to feature rock and roll themes. Also, like I said, a special balloon drop. And of course, what birthday celebration would not take place if you didn't have great flavors. They've actually created some special ones, and they'll be releasing more about that too, as far as new dishes and things too. But I think it's wonderful. It's a great way to really think about celebrating the birthday of the United States of America, so definitely keep that in mind too. And you've got some time to plan for this too, because once again, these cruises are taking place in 2026 as we get ready to celebrate the United States of America's 250th birthday. So keep that in mind too. I'll talk more about that later on, but this is really, really exciting because once again, special entertainment, different themes and places to go to. You've got choices of the length, but what a great way to really, I think, celebrate the birthday of the United States of America, and I'm so glad that we're doing that too. That's great too. Something else that came up too is with Royal Caribbean. Okay, introducing another private out-island experience, and they just mentioned this earlier this week. They're introducing their Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, and it's going to be introduced, opening up in December 2025, and it's the first location in their Royal Beach Club collection. And what they're doing is the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island offers all-inclusive beach days experience at Paradise Island, and it will be featuring, of course, pools, a swim-up bar, also local eateries, and Bahamian artisans, and live music will be there too. And once again, they've got passes that their vacationers could actually purchase starting in spring 2025. That's great because once again, with the Royal Beach Clubs collection, Michael Bailey, President and CEO of Royal Caribbean, mentioned it's designed for every type of family and vacationer to get everything they want out of their ideal beach day. no matter the vibe they're looking for, too. And with the first of its kind Royal Beach Club, Paradise Island, they want to continue to super serve their guests with different experiences. And more about it, too, is it's actually divided into 3 different zones, areas. They've got their family beach, they've got their chill beach, and their party cruise family beach, which features a zero entry pool, beach games, one of a kind ultimate family cabana with personal attendant services, the chill beach, which I think is kind of a fun name, isn't it? Chill beach. Well, you understand what warmer beach, right? But they call it chill beach. Offers relaxation for guests, of course, and it's going to have a culture, Caribbean culture that features shopping, local cuisine, and the Party Cove is a beachfront cove with a swim-up bar and also VIP poolside service too. And the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island was actually developed in partnership that Royal Caribbean has with the Bahamian government, and it also supports local workforce. Okay, and it, like I said, I mentioned, 2025 is when Royal Caribbean is expanding its vacation offerings at MI2, because once again, the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, which is going to be opening up in December 2025, joins Perfect Day Coco Cay. And as far as our private outline experiences too, and that's going to be also, they're doing more additions too as far as Cozumel in 2026 and also Mexico 2027. So once again, it's just a great way to really relax the private outline experience. People there are guests on the ship you're on too, which is great. So definitely keep that in mind too, which is great. So I think that's fun too. And once again, I mentioned Explorer Journeys. The Explorer 2 was just christened earlier this year in September, then just arrived into Port Miami, where she's sailing different Caribbean cruises right now through March of 2025. But they've got another ship too coming out in 2026. That's Explorer 3. Okay. And they just unveiled more details about her inaugural season, which is going to start in 2026. The ship will debut in 2026 in the summertime. Explorer 3 is going to embark on scenic journeys into Northern Europe's dramatic destinations, coastlines too, also landscapes of Iceland and Greenland. Also, then the North America's East Coast, then positioning in the Caribbean for the wintertime too. And then this luxury ship, it actually features 463 spacious ocean suites, penthouses, and residences, and offers award-winning, of course, culinary offerings too, wellness experiences too. And the ship is going to start sailing through Western Europe with a visit to Bordeaux, France, and then heading to Northern Europe, and then starting in Southampton in August 17th, 2026. The ship's going to include destinations visiting Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Germany, also making a stop to Iceland and Greenland. And then on the way, guests can really enjoy different off the beaten path places to visit too. And then, of course, September 27th, Explorer 3 is going to arrive in Quebec City, Canada, as we continue offering different U.S. and Canada East Coast arrival sailings. And this will go, and this will arrive in Miami in October 25th, 2026, before setting sail to the Caribbean for the winter season too. So once again, with Explorer 3, it's high luxury, ocean life to see, and options as far as different places to visit too, including Caribbean sailings during the winter months, which is great too. And once again, it's got just beautiful concept too. I know they've got popular eateries. I mentioned them before. Anthology, Sakura. They've got their Med Yacht Club, the Marble and Company Grill, which is their steak place. And they've got their Emporium Marketplace too. Also, they've got their wellness and fitness areas too. And they've got their Nautilus Club on floor 3. It's actually been improved with dedicated spaces and curated experiences for designed for children as well as teens too. And they've got a dedicated team of hosts that will be there for activities for younger guests too, which is great too. So definitely keep in mind too, because once again, one thing about Explorer 3 is actually equipped with shore power capabilities, and that really also is advanced energy options too. It's also the first LNG powered vessel within the Explorer Journeys fleet too, which is great. And once again, that really is way to cut down on the carbon monoxide, or the whatever, that's great too, but it's good too. So keep that in mind too, because once again, Explorer 3 is coming out 2026. So keep that in mind, because it sounds exciting too. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see Explorer 2 now that she's in Miami. When I'm down in Miami, I have a chance to actually see her, just reach out to people too. They're great, which is great too. And then something else I know that, let's see, we have something too, is, we talk about cruise lines tying the knots, okay? And what they do is not just tying the knot on board the cruise ship, although one fun thing too is you can actually get married on Virgin Voyages by Richard Branson. He doesn't go on every sailing, but he actually does weddings, okay? I mentioned it before in a previous episode, but just keep in mind. But also another way to tie that out would be when cruise lines, what they do is they sail from different cruise terminals. And one that just came up, of course, too, is Norwegian Cruise Line, okay? They're offering some seasonal sailings from Port Galveston's newest cruise terminal, and that's going to be on the Norwegian Prima and Norwegian Viva, which are going to be sailing, okay, when this new Pier 16 facility opens up in November 2025, next year. And once again, it goes back to another way to sail out of a different location too. Galveston is growing. They're building this brand new pier facility opening up in November 2025. MSC Cruises is going to be sailing out of that. Also, Norwegian Cruise Line is going to be sailing out of there too. And I know I mentioned that with Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're going to have some new Saturday sailings. These will be out of Galveston. They mentioned it would be with Norwegian Cruise Line. I think there are 3 brands. Norwegian Cruise Line, of course, Oceanic Cruises, Region 7 Seas too, and which is great too. So that's great to know too, once again, because Galveston is a growing port, and they're building this new terminal, which is great too. So keep that in mind too. Another option is about taking a cruise, because we have a lot of ships that are actually sailing out there now, with this new port terminal there too, coming up in 2026, I think. No, November 2025. That's great too. Another option too. Something else that just came up too is, we have, with Cunard Line, of course, they've got, they just announced that their Queen Elizabeth is going to undergo some extensive makeover ahead of her inaugural Caribbean program from Miami, and then her debut Alaska season from Seattle in 2025. And what the Cunard's Queen Elizabeth, she's going to go some updates, and what they're doing is she is going to have some signature spaces, the Commodore Club, the Queen's Room, the Garden Lounge, and also the Pavilion being revitalized, right? They'll be revitalized. Also, they've got the Grills Experience, and what they're doing is they're going to have new menus, of course, new menus for the Cunard's grills, and also they've got, they're doing some renovations as far as the Pavilion Wellness Cafe, which actually debuted earlier this year on their newest ship, the Queen Anne, which came in earlier this year, and it really is wellness focused and offers breakfast, lunch, and a menu that really kind of celebrates plant-based cuisine alongside sustainability sourced meat, fish, and dairy too. And another one they can do too is they've got guests can enjoy the Harper's Bazaar Wellness at Sea program. It was first seen on the Queen Anne, which came in early this year, and the program is really offers 3-day packages dedicated to relaxation, energy restoration, recovery, and just rejuvenate at sea too. And then the Caribbean season will actually begin with a 12-night round-trip sailing from Miami, offering guests a chance to visit Bridgetown's UNESCO-listed garrison and bustling markets of Castries, St. Lucia. Queen Elizabeth will also have a dedicated program of round-trip Caribbean voyages too, which is great. The itineraries range from 9 to 28 nights, and it marks the first time that Cunard vessel will actually spend a full season in the Miami, season in Miami, which is great. And the Queen Elizabeth will offer destinations at such as Montego Bay, Jamaica, also San Juan, Puerto Rico, as well as St. John's and Antigua. And as mentioned, the Queen is going to be being renovated some things too. Then for anticipated season in the Caribbean sailing from Miami, and also Alaska for sailing from Seattle, there's really transmission to a new chapter, which is great too. So definitely keep in mind too. I think that's great too. As far as Cunard Line, because they're just they do wonderful things too. And as mentioned, her makeover will be ahead of her inaugural Miami, Caribbean, and Alaska seasons in 2025. So that's great too. They just announced this, which is really, I think, kind of fun too. So definitely keep in mind too. And as far as other things too, we've got other cruise lines, and one that maybe people are not aware of, but it's kind of it's a boutique cruise line, Celestial. And they're a boutique cruise line, but they specialize in sails in the Mediterranean, Adriatic, and Gulf of Arabia. And they just announced some things recently in November about a simplified fare structure called Celestial One, which replaces what they've been currently doing. And they'll include the cruise fare, complimentary Wi-Fi for guests, which is great, filtered coffee, tea, water, and juice throughout the day. Also unlimited soft drinks with main restaurants and meals, as well as port fees and taxes and crude gratuities, which is great too. So what they're doing is they're simplifying different things too. Their beverage offers, which is great too. Also, they're as mentioned, they're more of a antique, more of a boutique type of cruise line, and once again, they specialize in sailings to Mediterranean, Adriatic, and the Gulf of Arabia, which is great. Also, they've got, I think they mentioned some things too, and what they're doing is, with their new fare and their beverage offerings, they're making an investment on their fleet for their newest ship, the Celestial Discovery, and the designs include a introduction of 47 additional cabins, which is going to increase the ship's overall capacity to 1,300 guests. Also, they've got new staterooms. Something else they mentioned too is mirroring their sister ship, the Celestial Journey. The Celestial Discovery will feature a smoked olive restaurant with a dedicated dining space for all suite guests. And this will also include an extra pop-up evening restaurant with a bookable private dining area. And they've got additional premium cabins, of course, that they're doing. And it's just what they're doing as far as different things they're doing. So keep in mind, too, if you've not heard of them, but Celestial Journeys is more of a specialty type of cruise line, which is great. And now they're offering, which is fun too, is they're offering year-round, it's a year-round cruise company that offers sailings in the Greek islands, the Adriatic and Arabian Gulf, and so they've been kind of built on the Greek heritage, which is good too to know about that too. So keep that in mind too. And once again, they now operate two completely refurbished vessels, the Celestial Journey and the Celestial Discovery, which each accommodate up to 1,300 guests. So definitely keep that in mind too, just in case. Something else too that is kind of fun too is, I know we're getting to the end of the year, but once again, it's a good way to kind of think about the positive things that come up during the year too. One, of course, and I wrote about this too, is with our Veterans Day. It's a way to celebrate veterans. And one thing that people are not aware of, I want to mention it too, is I wrote about it, of course, on Veterans Day, which took place, of course, November 11th, is there was a way for veterans to actually celebrate. It's called the Honor Flight. If you're not aware of what the Honor Flight is, my father actually had a chance to do this back in 2019. He was a World War II veteran. But what the Honor Flight does is, the people that started this, it's the Honor Flight Network. It was co-founded by Jeff Miller and Earl Morris. It's a national nonprofit organization, and they first began this in 2005, and they created it with one mission. They wanted to, it was a way to honor the U.S. military veterans by taking them to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials and then to commemorate these veterans' sacrifice and service. And it really gives U.S. military veterans the opportunity to actually be with other comrades, which is great, and share their stories, experiences with other veterans. And also, all veterans travel free of charge on these special honor flight trips, thanks to the wonderful foundation and donations to Honor Flight Network organization, which is great. Also, each veteran is assigned a guardian, and the guardian is responsible for that veteran too. And what's great too is originally the Honor Flight was focused on America's World War II veterans, but now the Honor Flight Network actually is expanded to veterans who actually served the Korean War, also the Vietnam War. Veterans can now take the Honor Flight. And once again too is you go online, look for the Honor Flight, and like I said, people that were in the service, veterans from Korean War as well as Vietnam War, can actually apply to go on the Honor Flight. It's free, of course. Each veteran that actually was on that veteran flight is assigned a guardian, which takes care of them too, which is great. As far as my dad's experience, and this took place, of course, in 2019, he was actually a veteran from the World War II. My dad actually took the Honor Flight on October 16th, 2019. My dad had actually traveled different places across the world, vacations, because my mother actually had a travel agency, but they traveled the world. He loved to travel. And he had a wonderful experience. But it was the guardian, actually, the person who signed my father. With the application, he was approved, which is great. But once again, that person picked my dad up, take him to the airport. They flew out early morning on October 16th. They flew to Washington, D.C., took them different places. They included different places. Have these veterans share different memories, dining, whatever. And then what they did was they flew them back that evening. What I did was, like I said, the volunteers were there throughout the whole experience, the entire day. And meals were included also. My father loved everything. And their flight was returning to Chicago Midway Airport about 8 p.m. What I did was, they're going to have a special welcome reception back. Okay, what I do is I took my mother to Chicago Midway Airport, okay, and got there earlier because they had this special welcome reception that was going to take place when the plane actually landed to welcome the veterans who was on that Veterans at Honor Flight. So I got my mom airport with different things to experience right there. The section was actually sectioned off for us to experience too, and they had different food items for us to eat. And then after the plane landed, after 8 o'clock, and the veterans got off the flight, and they walked in to music, and it's a great celebration. It's just a wonderful experience with music and food. It's just phenomenal. Just remembers me so much too. Once again, when I was driving my mom and dad back to their house that evening, my dad shared more about this experience, okay? He said, I've been fortunate, sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. I've been fortunate to travel to beautiful places throughout the world with your mom, but this is one of the best trips I've ever taken, and definitely it's a wonderful way to really recognize U.S. veterans, okay? And as mentioned, the Honor Flight is now available to those who have served military during the Korean War and Vietnam War too. And for information, please make sure you take a look at this, because you can actually apply or help a person apply to be on the Honor Flight. You just go to https and then / www.honorflight.org. And once again, it was just so great, because going back to, the whole thing as far as Veterans Day, a little history here too, didn't realize it, but it was actually started by President Woodrow Wilson, okay? He actually created the first Veterans Day in 1919, and we've come a long way, but just keep this in mind too. Look into the Honor Flight if you know any veterans, because once again, It's complimentary. They have a guardian that is with that particular veteran the whole time, which is great too. So keep in mind too, which is great. Yes, that always brings me just good memories too, because he said it was a great opportunity for him to experience in Washington, D.C., and just great to really celebrate what we're doing too. And also, I think it's kind of fun too, if you think about the United States of America, for us to actually be celebrating our 250th birthday coming up in 2026 on July 4th. Keep in mind too, because once again, Colonel Grizzlies is doing these wonderful experiences for people to do and celebrate together. Special activities. I'm sure other cruise lines will do that too, but keep in mind too, okay? Mark, do you have any questions for me or not? So I've covered a lot, but it's really great to kind of celebrate veterans. Also, I think it's wonderful as far as celebrating and getting ready to celebrate the United States of America's 250th birthday on July 4th, 2026. But great things too, isn't it? It's always good to share good stories too. New ships coming out next year, of course, different experiences, and just ways to really celebrate. And of course, good ship happens when you're a cruise ship too, which is fun too. And also, I think what's great too is with the private out islands, they're growing like crazy in a very, very positive way. And it's just fun because once again, cruise lines, it's a private area for their cruise guests to actually disembark, enjoy different things on the private out islands there too. And just a way to relax too, in a great way too. So keep that in mind too, because once again, I really fell in love cruising. I took a 3-night cruise years ago. Went to a Norwegian Cruise Line, and they had their own private out island, and Great Stirrup Cay, and then we went to the Bahamas. But Great Stirrup Cay was just amazing. The ship actually had to anchor, and then we tendered in. But what's great too is, I forgot to mention this too, is with Great Stirrup Cay actually building a dock for their ships to dock at now too. I've been there several times since then, of course, in different christenings of their new ships, but they're building a new cruise dock. So now in the future, I'm not sure if it's going to be in next year, the year after, but Norwegian Cruise Line ships will actually be able to dock at Great Stirrup Cay. That's our private out island in the Bahamas, which is great. It's beautiful. They've added more to it too. Got a chance to see it a couple years ago. I was on the progressing of their ships too, but great things to do and experience, and just so relaxing. Beautiful places to eat, enjoy food, cuisine, relax, see the beaches, be on the beaches too for the day, which is great. Another great example, of course, is with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, which is owned by MSC Group and their foundation. Was there when I was on board their christening one of their new ships, and it was great to actually see that. It's great. It's a beautiful place, and they have a dock, the cruise ship's dock right there. They stayed later because it's pretty close to Port Miami. They stayed later at night, and I was there for the christening, which is great too. They christened the ship on board the ship that evening, but during the day is when they did that sand cutting, because they're going to build a marine lab, which they've been working on now for the past 2 years, and they're building coral reef trees there too, which is great. But also what they did was we stayed later because once again we weren't that far away from Port Miami. We didn't depart Ocean Cay MSC Reserve until maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning. We're just going back to Miami, but it's great because they have this beautiful lighthouse. They did a fireworks show too, which is great. Just for things to enjoy on the island even at night, which is great too. And it's their private island, so it's very safe and beautiful. Just a great way to really, really experience different things too. And with, of course, different islands coming out too. Celebration Cay is one that is going to be coming out with, I think that's going to be Carnival Cruise Line, of course. They're working on things too, so keep that in mind too. And also new ships coming out, different ways to really kind of celebrate. And of course, one thing too is we talk about different cruises for holidays and things too. Of course, with Christmas coming up and New Year's coming up too. Great way to celebrate. But one thing too is you definitely need to book this far in advance. Okay, if you're trying to get on board a cruise ship for Christmas, well, they're sold out. Okay, same thing for New Year's. But definitely think about that too, because they have special sailings, which is great. And they book up far in advance, but it's a good way to kind of celebrate and have to worry about where you're going to go for New Year's, of course, which is great. At sea, it's a great way to celebrate too. But definitely think about that too, because once again, we've got new ships coming out, different places they're going to, which is just phenomenal. I love it. Also, a great way to really kind of relax and enjoy, and then don't have to worry about creating a party for yourself too, right? But think about that too, because once again, with cruise lines, they do special celebrations on board their ships during the holidays, including, of course, New Year's, which is coming up shortly, and also, of course, with Christmas. But definitely keep that mind too, because it's a great way to really kind of enjoy and celebrate too. Actually, I did a cruise myself over Thanksgiving. It kind of came up accidentally, and it was a great way to really kind of experience it too, because we had Thanksgiving dinner, of course, on Thanksgiving, which is great. I didn't have to cook, which is great. I love that. But it's great too, because I did, it was in 2016, I did a special cruise. It was on Crystal Cruises, and it really came up accidentally, but we got aboard the ship. We arrived on Tuesday. The ship sailed on Wednesday, and then, of course, we sailed out down the river, and then it was a Caribbean cruise. We sailed in the Caribbean. It was great to see different places, including one I've not been to, St. Bartholomew, which is gorgeous. Other places I've been to too, but it's great to kind of experience it. And also, like I said, being aboard a cruise ship, Thanksgiving, and they cook dinner for you, which is great. But I think it's just a wonderful thing to think about too. If you're thinking about something special, keep that in mind too, okay? But once again, we've got wonderful things going on to do in the cruise industry too, and different ships too. Keep that in mind, okay? Because it's just great things to do on board a cruise ship too, in different ways. And I just love the cruise industry, because once again, it's great to really see different beautiful places, and they take you to beautiful places. Also, going back to river cruising, what's great too is river cruise line ships, they can go into places that on the European rivers. Also, Amazon is another one. What they're doing too, and also, like I said, even as far as Egypt too, which is great. So keep that in mind too, because once again, they go to smaller places. Also, we talk about big ships all the time, with Icon Seas being the biggest ship ever built, but also keep in mind there are also smaller cruise line ships. One great example is Azamara. Okay, beautiful cruise line. I've written about it before, and Azamara Cruises, smaller ships, and what they did was they really launched things a different way as far as their ships, because it could stay longer in different places, okay? And they would call them their Azamazing Evenings. Yes, Azamara, but Azamazing Evenings, which is great. And what they did was they stayed in places longer at night, and go to have their guests go to different places, which is great for different experiences. So keep that in mind too, because once again, we've got different types of ships out there, smaller cruise lines, boutique ones. You've got different experiences, places to go to too, and it's just a great way to travel, because once again, you're with other people, and you've got different types of cuisine to explore. Also, entertainment is phenomenal, okay? And you've got just so many different places to pick and choose to go to too, because once again, it's a great example of how good ship happens. Yes, good ship happens when you're a cruise ship too. So keep that in mind. And also, like I said, definitely think about planning ahead too for 2025. It's around the corner, but once again, we've got different great things going on in the cruise industry as far as different ships coming out 2025, 2026, and also as we celebrate the United States of America's birthday on July 4th of 2026. Keep that in mind, because once again, Carnival Cruise Line just announced special sailings they're doing to celebrate America's birthday. Yes. And once again, another thing too is the cruise lines really focus on sustainability. And Dr. Sylvia Earles, which is one great person, she actually was godmother of the Explorer One, but she's one great example of what cruise lines are doing as far as sustainability. Yes. Going to liquefied natural gas as far as operating their ships, of course, and then they eliminated, of course, a long time ago, the plastic straws, one-use type things too. And they recycle things like crazy, which is great. But definitely keep that in mind too, because once again, great examples of how good ship happens with the cruise industry.
I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle, a marine biologist, oceanographer, explorer, and I'm passionate about the protection of this blue planet. I grew up next to the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, and unwitnessed how much the ocean has changed and how marine life has been endangered. But I know there is still time to help the ocean, which is why I was drawn to the Aponte family's sustainability mission. Explorer Journeys has a genuine ambition to connect people with the wonders of the sea, its marine life, its communities, spiritually, physically, and intellectually. We share the same values and have the same objectives to deepen people's relationship with the ocean, to explore, protect, and restore. Explorer Journeys calls it the ocean state of mind, a sensibility that will ensure the protection of this precious blue planet. Through my foundation, Mission Blue, we're working on ocean conservation, inspiring hope with champions across the world. Beginning with my extraordinary role as godmother to Explorer One, we will be heralding a meaningful collaboration between myself, Mission Blue, and Explorer Journeys and the MSC Foundation towards preserving and restoring the world's oceans, the blue heart of the planet.